Thanks, Sally.
For many, the recent sunshine means a chance to top up the tan. Figures, though, suggest that many young people turn to sunbeds to get that sun-kissed look.
Questions are now being asked about the way the industry in England is regulated. One city council wants the government to give every local authority the power to regulate sunbed businesses to put them in line with existing rules in Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland.
Breakfast's Bryony Mackenzie has been to Liverpool to find out more.
Yeah, go for it.
Each session can last just a matter of minutes, but don't tan responsibly and it can lead to a lifetime of hospital checkups and operations.
I want to start by looking at the scar there first and then move on.
Donna Totti began using sunbeds just aged 12 for 12 minutes a day, 6 times a week. 10 years later, it was only an antenatal checkup where Donna mentioned an itchy mole that revealed severe skin cancer.
It's quite scabby, hasn't it? I think that's going to need to be removed, actually.
And it still requires ongoing treatment.
Never knew it was bad for my skin, obviously, because it was peeling, but I just carried on going on because I couldn't stand being white.
And you didn't want to use fake tan or any other sort of product like that?
No, I was scared of going streaky.
So the salon would just let you go in and on for 12 minutes?
Yeah, some salons asked me like for my ID and stuff, but some of them are just like, you know, even in your uniform. To walk in with your uniform on and they'd be alright with it.
Donna was using sunbeds before there was a legal age requirement of 18, but even now that's not always adhered to. Some sunbed UV rays can be 15 times more powerful than the midday sun. Using a sunbed doubles your chance of developing the most serious form of skin cancer, known as malignant melanoma. On Merseyside, there are twice the number of cases of this severe type of cancer than the UK average amongst 15 to 34-year-olds. Which is why Liverpool is leading the way in pushing the government to introduce tighter legislation for sunbed salons. Experts say many people are dismissive of skin cancer.
Some of them do say, well, I had an idea, I might have been damaging my skin, but I didn't really understand how dangerous the melanoma was going to be to me, and they didn't understand or appreciate that it potentially could actually kill them and it can actually go inside the body and spread around to other organs.
If it's the first time ever on a sunbed, they're only allowed to go on for 3 minutes.
There are salons who responsibly advise those wanting a tan and do impose a strict user policy.
When people come in, they've got to fill in a client card, so it comes up on the system as soon as you put it onto the computer and tells you how old they are. So obviously if they are too young, you can be like, well, sorry, I can't put you on the beds. And they're not allowed in the rooms either.
Donna now only uses spray tans. She still loves being brown, but she knows it's a safe, healthy glow. Bryony Mackenzie, BBC News, Liverpool.
When are they coming?
Let's talk to Liverpool City Councillor Roy Gladden. Very good morning to you, Roy.
Right.
So this is an astonishing figure that in the most recent figures before the ban, 50% of children aged 15 to 17 in Liverpool had used a sunbed.
Yes.
And therefore putting themselves at whatever risk they put themselves at if they use a sunbed.
Yeah.
What are you trying to do with your campaign?
Well, first of all, we're recognising that was figures then, but we don't think they've changed very much. Because although the regulations have come in, what we now have is there's no licensing. So anybody can open a sunbed anywhere, and we don't even know that they're there. And we know that there's young people under the age from 11 upwards still using sunbeds.
You don't think that the ban on under 18s using sunbeds has influenced the young people of Liverpool?
No, it's not to a certain, I'm sure to a certain degree, but we still have a situation where we know from sunbeds where people have gone in, young children, with notes from their parents, under 18. And the people, when they've been challenged, said, oh, we thought that they could do this.
What, so they've gone in saying, I have a note, I may be under 18, but I've got a note from my parents saying this is okay?
And some of them said, oh, we didn't understand the regulations properly, or people of this age. And the problem being, and because they're not licensed, we don't even know where they are. Malignant melanoma is a very dangerous thing. It is a killer to young people. And as you said, with the numbers in Liverpool, Liverpool is very high, but it's throughout the country. And what's the reason why we're doing the campaign is that Northern Ireland, Scotland and Wales have regulations that far superior to ours, and London, believe it or not, so England. And what we're doing is saying our young people and all other adults should be educated to know the damage that sunbeds can use. If you want to then use them, but fine, but at least know what the damage they're causing. Education, that's what we're talking about, is very important.
If a 15-year-old goes into a sunbed shop or a hairdresser's or whatever has where the sunbed is, because they can be in all sorts of places,
gyms, etc.
If they go in and they're clearly not 18, what's the current backup to the legislation that you can use against that premises?
First of all, we have to catch them. And if we don't, there is nothing. They just will use it. And the difference, if you look at between us and a young person of 15, if they just went in Scotland, or 18, because
what would happen? So
nothing would happen. We have to actually be able to catch them.
So is that something you are? I mean, can you practically try and police it in any way? Have you got enough staff? Do you have people doing that job?
We haven't doing it at the moment, Charlie, but the problem being, of course, you can just open a sunbed outlet without licence, so you don't know where it is. It can be in the hairdressers. It can actually be, we're getting a situation where they're in gyms, in gymnasiums. You know, we're talking about healthy styles, healthy eating, everybody goes on about it, and the gyms will have it all over, but they'll let you use a sunbed.
Well, there are alternatives, of course, spray tans, things like that.
Yes.
Are is there a sort of locally a campaign to just remind young girls, young boys that actually there is an alternative to sunbeds?
Well, that's what we're doing at the moment, because education is a very important part of this, not just regulation. But what we're looking at the moment, working with an organisation called St Merits, which is a tanning company who we find, and they're going to be educating young women, and it is mostly young women, I'm afraid. Going into the schools, we're going to be doing it throughout the cities, and we're hoping that this can get over to young women, that you don't need to go on sunbeds to get that tan look, if that's what you want. But what we're really after is to get the government to give us the same powers as they're given to London, for example, and Northern Ireland and Scotland. And we're just talking about simple things like goggles. You don't have to have goggles at the moment. There's not regulation, but you do if you're in Scotland. You don't have to be informed because of your skin tone about the damage it can do to your skin. You don't have to be told about all the other things that it is. Now, as an adult, if you want to use a sunbed, that's fine, but at least let us give people information so they understand what it may do. We're looking to have good places that people know what's happening, and they take the right steps to protect themselves from what is a very, very growing problem at the moment, which is malignant melanoma, which is skin cancer.
Well, Roy Gladden, we appreciate your time. Thanks very much indeed from Liverpool City Council.